We didn't know the little princess's royal touch could trigger a localized planet-wide lockdown until her small, scaled hands gripped my worn-out jeans, and the palace walls instantly began singing in a deafening, metallic frequency. That was the exact hook the universe used to put a target right on my back. I'm Mason, a Tier 3 human diplomat assigned to the Valari High Council. To our hosts, an 8-foot-tall, hyper-advanced race of iridescent reptilian conquerors, humanity is just a primitive species of soft, squishy pets. We aren't supposed to touch the royal bloodline. We're barely supposed to look them in the eyes. But 20 minutes ago, the Grand Audience Chamber became a literal pressure cooker. The High Sovereign had just rejected a critical trade treaty, and the ambient tension in the room was thick enough to suffocate a man. Dozens of elite guards stood in pristine, shimmering kinetic armor, their multifaceted eyes locked onto our small human delegation. Their mechanical translators droned out a low, rhythmic war chant from their throats, waiting for the order to liquidate us. Alien logic is built entirely on cold math and spreadsheets. The equations in their high-tech helmets said our primitive delegation was a 0% threat. The Grand Chancellor stepped forward, his translator emitting a wet, heavy rasp. Your logic centers must dictate immediate submission, the machine automated. Your arguments are primitive. Step away from the dais. Walk away now. But nobody ever explained a child's intuition to an alien warlord. In the middle of that terrifying silence, the Queen's 6-year-old daughter, the little Princess Alara, escaped her royal nannies. She didn't run to her mother, and she didn't hide behind the heavy ceremonial curtains. Instead, her small boots squeaked loudly across the spotless floorboards as she walked straight toward the human side of the room. She stopped right in front of my chair, her wide, glowing amber eyes scanning my scarred face. The guards tightened their fingers on their plasma triggers, assuming she was about to execute the primitive. But, nobody expected what she did next. The little alien princess calmly walked over, climbed onto my chair, and sat directly on my knees. She leaned her heavy, scaled head against my chest, let out a soft, rhythmic purr, and closed her eyes. All caps for emphasis can't describe the absolute madness that paralyzed the throne room right then. The Queen didn't just flinch, she burst into a frantic, high-pitched flurry of clicks, her royal silk rustling violently as she stood up from her golden throne. To the Valari, the royal child sitting on a lower species wasn't just a political scandal, it was a total biological impossibility. The princess possessed a highly volatile psionic aura that normally fried the nervous systems of anyone who touched her without a matching genetic key. But my chaotic human biology, hardened by years of stubborn survival in the dirt, didn't short-circuit. It acted like a natural grounding wire, instantly soothing the little girl's erratic energy. The Grand Chancellor panicked, his plasma rifle raising directly toward my forehead. The primitive has contaminated the lineage. Liquidate the asset. Touch him, and I will burn your court to ash, a voice boomed. It wasn't me who spoke. It was the Queen. She rushed down the steps of the dais, pushing past her own elite guards. Her towering, 9-foot form cast a massive shadow over my chair. But she didn't draw a weapon. She stared at her daughter, who was completely at peace, holding my calloused hand with a death grip. The Queen realized her imperial math had completely failed her. Alien logic says a lower species is an expendable tool to be managed or crushed. They live to calculate status and profit. But human logic? When a tired kid sits on our lap, we don't care about your empires, your starfleets, or your 60 loaded plasma rifles. We just hold them until they're safe. The Queen slowly, profoundly bowed her massive, iridescent torso, a royal gesture of submission and absolute gratitude that no human eyes had witnessed in 10,000 years of galactic history. The galaxy thinks your species is fragile because you feel empathy, the Queen's translator buzzed, her voice dropping into a low, profoundly respectful frequency. They look at your soft skin and assume it is weakness. But today, human, you break our logic. This treaty is signed. Your home world is now an untouchable protectorate of the crown. The guards slowly lowered their weapons, the formulas in their high-tech helmets completely shattered. The universe thinks everything runs on cold numbers, spreadsheets, and probability. The alien empires assume that when a human is outgunned, he will always slide into the mud and beg for survival. But they forget that our capacity for reckless mercy and stubborn protection is exactly what makes us so damn dangerous. Because when a human decides to hold the line for a child, your spreadsheets go straight into the fire. So, next time you think you can intimidate a human who's just minding his own business, don't wait for the math to favor you. Just run.